Nighttime traffic flowing into the Dallas Canyon interchange. A camera on board a DART bus shows the bus swerving from side to side and then suddenly veering off the road, headed straight for a concrete bridge post.
Oh, when I seen it, I just couldn't believe it. It's just unimaginable that a bus can actually be torn apart like that.
Zulita Walker died on impact.
Everybody loved her, you know.
A DART driver who was a favorite among co-workers and colleagues at the bus drivers union,
She was
like Kenneth Day.
just a lovely person.
Investigators still don't know why Walker was driving so fast that night or what caused her to lose control, but it was the impact that killed her, a collision with a concrete post that's out in the open with no guardrail to prevent drivers from hitting it.
It raises the question, why not?
The post is just 18.5 feet from the edge of the road, about the length of one car. Why leave a bridge post unprotected in the middle of a busy interchange?
Well, it may not warrant any type of protection.
TxDOT says current state and federal guidelines show no need for a guardrail.
If somebody can hit it and die, that's not enough justification to put a rail in?
That's not our intent. Our safety is our #1 goal and #1 priority at TxDOT.
On most freeways, current guidelines suggest protective barriers if a bridge post is less than 16 feet from the edge of a freeway ramp. But since this post is 18 feet from the ramp and there's a curb along the side of the ramp, TxDOT believes there's no need to do anything more.
2 feet, we're talking 2 feet. I know TxDOT will probably say, well, where do you cut it off at? We've had a fatality.
These are guidelines. These are not a one-size-fits-all rules, and so you have to apply common sense.
Brigham McCown is a former federal highway safety administrator who now runs a nonprofit transportation safety group.
You don't want to do anything to make a potential accident worse.
He worries TxDOT may be splitting hairs in some cases and compromising safety. In fact, our investigation found 11 locations where an unprotected bridge post is just barely beyond where state and federal guidelines recommend guardrails. On the main lanes of a freeway, the guidelines suggest guardrails if a post is less than 30 feet from the edge of the road. On US 287 in Mansfield, several unprotected posts are 31 to 35 feet from the road, barely beyond the limit. And along I-20, these unprotected posts are at 31 or 32 feet, just a foot or two beyond that 30-foot mark, and no guardrails.
And clearly having these obstructions in the line of the car's travel path at high rates of speed is very dangerous.
McCown questions if the 30-foot guideline even makes sense today. The guidelines were created decades ago when freeways were less crowded, there were fewer distractions in cars, and the speed limits were lower than the 65 or 70 miles per hour on many Texas roads today.
Is 30 feet enough given those speeds?
It's all based on statistical probability. It's a zone that provides a recovery opportunity.
The Federal Highway Administration told us 30 feet is a distance that only accommodates a certain portion of all runoff road crashes under laboratory conditions, so to speak. Current guidelines accommodate about 80% of runoff road incidents. The other 20% of drivers will still likely hit the post.
And it's an engineering judgment call as to whether a guard fence is needed.
TxDOT says it constantly reevaluates locations across the state.
That bus was peeled back.
But Kenneth Day wonders if it's time to change the guidelines.
We should go back and review any type of rule that has a potential to save a life.
And if it's time for TxDOT to re-examine the spot where Zulita Walker died.
You know, we should not have to wait till there's another fatality.